Ciao Fabri, welcome back
Ciao guys.
in our latest YouTube here video. As always, let's subscribe to the channel and we start today talking about many topics because there are some managers moving, some players, so many things happening here.
Yeah, we started the day with Jose Mourinho and we'd end the day with Pep Guardiola. It's been one of the busiest days, I think, in the history of football in terms of big names, because here we're not talking about just transfer news, managers news, or whatever. We have Jose Mourinho going back to Real Madrid. We have Pep Guardiola leaving Manchester City. We have Neymar Jr. going to play a World Cup with Brazil. So it's been one of the most historical days, I think, in terms of breaking news in the history of the game. And again, Neymar Jr. called up by Brazil. Obviously, this is not a transfer news, but still probably the most relevant news of the last couple of hours. But before that, we have the official confirmation. Official not yet, but it's going to be official very soon because Manchester City initially planned to announce everything next week after the final Premier League game. But obviously now with the news going around, they will have to change a little bit the planning because Pep Guardiola is going to leave Manchester City. It's over, and if you are following the channel, you probably had that feeling for some time now. It was already January when I started telling you Enzo Maresca will be the Manchester City manager to replace Pep Guardiola. The only point to understand was going to be whether Pep was going to leave this season, this summer 2026 or summer 2027. Pep decided to go immediately. That was always the feeling. So I don't think Enzo Maresca was going to wait that long, 1 year and a half before taking a job. So the feeling was always for Pep to leave this season. Pep in public always wanted to protect the story. I think also in terms of timing, Baby Tonight was not too kind to release a story while Arsenal were playing in a title race. But obviously, this is not criticism. It's just whatever anyone can do whatever they want. Yeah. But let me say that it's done. It's done. Pep Guardiola is going to leave Manchester City. It's going to be historical, the end of an era. And so something new is about to start at Man City.
You mentioned about Enzo Maresca, so it was always him, right?
Was always him and was only him because we saw rumors on Xabi Alonso, we saw rumors on Vincent Kompany, we saw rumors on several managers. It's never been a possibility, Manchester City going for another manager, because Manchester City internally decided a long time ago that the coach they believe is perfect to lead the Manchester City project into an historical moment to replace Pep Guardiola is Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca because he did a very good job at Chelsea, winning titles, winning the Club World Cup, winning the Conference League, which is obviously not the Champions League, but still a trophy, bringing Chelsea to Champions League football, which is something that is not going to happen this season. So Maresca did a very good job, and also Maresca has Manchester City connections. He used to work at Manchester City in the youth system, and then also as an assistant of Pep Guardiola. So very good connections, very good relationships, knows the club. So they believe this was the ideal solution, always the ideal solution. And so this is why Manchester City decided to go for Enzo Maresca. The agreement is confirmed, is done. Enzo Maresca will be the Manchester City manager from season 2026-2027. My understanding is that the contract is likely to be valid for 3 years. This should be the agreement, but on this I will confirm later on. It's just something I'm hearing tonight. So I will give you all the details in the upcoming days, but the name was only one, Enzo Maresca, also because Kompany is not leaving Bayern and because Xabi Alonso was never approached. Xabi Alonso, who is going, we know, to Chelsea.
Speaking of managers, can Antonio Conte be the next one in this madness of managers around Europe?
Yeah, I think Antonio Conte is going to be one of the next ones to follow because the relationship between Antonio Conte and Napoli has been fantastic in the last 2 years. He did an incredible job winning the Serie A 2024-2025, then winning the Super Cup this season with Napoli. So Conte is always delivering, but now Antonio Conte feels that it's time probably to go. So unless there is something crazy happening, so let's keep a small percentage still open. But as of tonight, the expectation is for Antonio Conte to leave Napoli at the end of the season, which means at the end of next game, there is one more game to play. And then the understanding is that Antonio Conte will really consider to try a new chapter in his career. We will see which one is going to be, because there is the possibility to go back to the Italian national team. Antonio Conte was already the coach of the national team at the Euros a few years ago. And then he always said in public how much he wanted to return one day to coach Italy. And probably we know how good is Antonio Conte when the situation looks very difficult for a club, or in this case for the national team, to try help and deliver results, well, this could be the opportunity. So Antonio Conte is in the running to become the next Italian national team head coach. He's not the only one, but first, the official communications with Napoli. So the feeling tonight is that Antonio Conte could leave Napoli, and another former Chelsea manager, Maurizio Sarri, also former Napoli manager, could return to the club. He's the favorite candidate, but not the only one.
On another note, what about Luis Enrique?
Look, on Luis Enrique, I can tell you that he was the secret dream of some important people at Manchester United. So Man United, around January, February, tried to understand if there was maybe a chance to land Luis Enrique to the club this summer. Was not possible because Luis Enrique is completely focused on the Paris Saint-Germain project. At Man United, Michael Carrick is staying, so that was not a possibility. But Luis Enrique is now going to negotiate a new contract with Paris Saint-Germain, which is already at the final stages because it's very close to being completed. It's just some small details to clarify. I think it's going to happen after the Champions League final. Obviously, Paris Saint-Germain already won what they had to win in France, and now it's going to be time to focus on the Champions League final in Budapest in a few days. But for sure, Luis Enrique is negotiating new contract with Paris Saint-Germain. It's very advanced, and so I expect Lucho to put pen to paper quite soon.
Talking about pen on papers, is also Arteta getting closer to a new deal with Arsenal?
Yeah, I think Arteta will sign a new contract at Arsenal in the summer. So it's not going to be now also in this case, because obviously, same as Paris Saint-Germain, there is a Champions League final to play. And in Arsenal case, there is still one game left before saying they made history and they win this Premier League title. They've been waiting for a very long time, but now it's really, really close. And apart from that, whatever happens in the next two games, Mikel Arteta knows that Arsenal are ready to offer him a new long-term contract with an improved salary, with absolutely confirmed confidence in everything, including the transfer window. So it's not just on the pitch, it's also off the pitch that Arsenal are showing how much they trust Mikel Arteta and these ideas. So I expect for sure Mikel Arteta to sign a new contract. Then obviously has to be negotiated, but the feeling between Arteta and Arsenal is Arteta and Arsenal board also is excellent, and today also the ownership was there. So I think it's going to be just a matter of time before they agree on all the details and everything will be completed.
Do you have other topics for today?
Look, I think we said absolutely everything. Again, stay tuned for more, because with managers we will have plenty more to say. Let's see what's going to happen with the end of the season review at Liverpool. Arne Slot total confidence to continue, but we have to wait for the end of the season review. Many Liverpool fans asking, there are reports that there is no end of the season review. No, my understanding is that there will be an end of the season review. Then we will see how it goes, but there will be an end of the season review, and obviously we will understand more on this and all the other topics. Thank you, Fra, as always. And we will be here together every single day. So follow the channel, subscribe, comment. We are reading you. And see you soon. Ciao.